Okay, it's time to do the front brakes on this GMC Savanna. This thing right here will make a screeching noise, and it is just almost touching right there. What you need to do is compress this piece here, which is the cylinder, and you'll be able to take the caliper off. The easiest way I've found is like with a 6-inch C-clamp. You can use a big pair of channel locks or even a screwdriver wedged down in here and prying. But before I do all this, push this cylinder back or compress it, I need to go under the hood and empty some of the fluid out of the brake reservoir because it will overflow. Perhaps you can see that the reservoir is pretty full. I'm at a little bit of an angle, that's why it's leaning like that. I got it, the vehicle raised on one side. Okay, I'm going to have to take some of this out of here because when I do both the wheel cylinders on the front, it's going to really overflow this. It'll be nice to put some fresh fluid in this anyway. Man, this thing holds a lot. Okay. That'll probably work. Now, I still have a little left in there, which, well, when I compress the cylinder on that wheel, it will fill back up some. It's really cold outside now, and this plastic would probably do better when it was warmer. I was afraid I was going to break it. Okay, now back to the rotor and brakes. Okay, you can see how far I got compression on that cylinder there. And when you can't turn the clamp anymore really hard, then this should be bottomed out. So I take the clamp off now, and then it'll be time to take the caliper here loose. There's a couple bolts and they might have covers on them in the back here, I don't know yet. Get to that in a minute. Let's go check under the hood and see how much the fluid came up. Well, it did come up some, but if I was to take the cover off, you could probably see it more back here. Not as much as I thought it would. Probably would not have overflowed with that side, but by the time I get to the other side, it may have. Anyway, it gives me a chance to put new fluid in. It's not a flush or anything like that. It's just taking out some of the old and putting in some new when I get to it. Let's see what I got with this new kit. Okay, some grease, some O-rings, this is probably silicone, some covers for the bolts. They got Looks like they just push on. The main thing is stay. Let's see if they work. That's what we need. Now that's one side. Probably the inner, and this is the outer. This one has a little screecher goodie on it. Big beefy pads. I believe these, I'm going to have to read, but I don't believe they need to be burnished in by driving 35, 40 and putting the brakes on for about 30 minutes off and on, somewhere like that. There's instructions on that if you really need to get into it. So yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks like the same ones. I think I'm good to go. Let's see if I can get an angle on this caliper. This is a 3/8 hex for the bolts, believe it or not. They're like hex inch wrench, Allen wrench, 3/8. Okay, it's loose. All I need to do now is pull it out. This friction's holding it. Silicone and all. And this is what I have. This is what it looks like. And this is the sleeve that it's supposed to slide in. It looks like it's kind of froze up in there, so I'm going to have to clean this all up. Alright, this bolt, this top caliper bolt, these caliper bolts do not go any further than that. It looks like they're staked right here. So when they tighten down, the caliper slides on this, and the bolt is stationary, of course. But anyway, there you go. That will need to be lubricated and put back in. Time for the bottom bolt. Anyway, it's just like the top one, only probably a little bit easier to get to, I don't know. Bottom caliper bolt is a little easier for me to get to. There we go. She's loose, you can see her moving. Okay, I gotta be careful here, I don't want to cause any undue pressure on the brake line. Yeah, let me see here. Brake line does look pretty good. Stationed right there. I'd like to lay the caliper over on something right here. I'll be back. Yeah, that bottom bolt is fighting me. And there's what some bad brake pads look like. Just darn near wore out. I'm going to clean out these run channels a little bit. That's what they're called. I have no idea, but the instructions did not say anything about putting any lubrication on these. The bottom one down here. And if you think about it, if you do put some lubrication on these, no matter what you put on there, unless it's silicone, which doesn't last that long anyway, it's going to attract dirt. I know some mechanics, they put a little dab of silicone on here, maybe a little up here. But I'm not going to do it. We'll get some new brake pads. Okay, I'm going to silicone these up a little bit, and I'm going to pretend I changed the O-rings and the rubber covers, even though I did not. Okay, I did not change the O-rings and the rubber covers here. I did not want to pursue it any further than this. It seems to be fine. These did not have very much lubrication on them at all. And this whole operation through here and down here is designed to keep everything running smoothly back and forth. And it was doing just fine with little lubrication. There's probably a little in here. Not anymore, because I did spray it, clean it out. But I'm going to go ahead and put it back together. I've got the brake pads on there. This one was a little difficult. They have little starting grooves right here where you can start then and then push it up. And then I did sort of tap these down a little bit with the back of my socket wrench so that they would spread out just a little bit more and catch the holes better. But neither one of these shoes is going anywhere, and I wanted to show you. This was the shoe with the screecher on it. I call them screechers, but as you can see, there's just nothing left of this. And it was definitely showing when I went to stop. The rotor is fine. I don't see anything wrong with this rotor. She's very nice rotor. Nothing on the back side, I don't feel anything. So, nice wheel bearings too. Everything about this van is really nice shape. So let me put some silicone on both of these. I'm going to get them back in their holes, and then I'm going to set it over the rotor here. I'm just going to use some universal silicone paste for many things, including brake calipers. I'm not going to open that pack that came with the kit. Alright, I'll put a little on the other side and that should be done. And I'll put it back in. If I push my caliper piston back far enough, I should still have room in here to slide this over the rotor here. This can be a lot of fun sometimes because it's new shoes and all, I mean new pads, and it can be a little tight, or a lot of tight. And so, I have to see if I can push that caliper piston back just a little bit more. It is so close. I really thought I had it. Okay, I got the caliper pushed back further. I just used a big pair of vice grips that I showed you earlier in the video. Got the pads on. Took this pad out to push that back, of course, and set it in there. Now I just got to line up the holes with the caliper bolts and tighten the caliper bolts down to 38 foot-pounds. And this side will be done. I did put a drop of red Loctite on the threads of each caliper bolt. 38 foot-pounds. There's one. There's two. Really, if you enjoy your vehicle, this is not a difficult job. You just take your time and then you can put all the parts in you want to. A lot of times the kits you buy for your pads don't come with all the hardware, so watch what you buy in case you want all the hardware. When I looked at things underneath here, those rubber connections, everything, they looked really good, and I didn't feel like they needed to be replaced, but it did show that it needed a little more silicone on those sliders. You can see that it's moving pretty freely now. Okay, I'm not going to do the other side because you've already seen this side. It's similar, and I guarantee you the brakes are going to be just as worn as what I showed you on this one here. When I get the other side done, I will press on the pedal a few times and make sure that a lot of this will be gone. Those pads will just close right up and rest there on both sides of that rotor, ready for you to put on the brakes. So I will test them, of course, before I do it. And this is my own personal vehicle. I don't really work on anybody else's vehicles other than my own. So what you're seeing on my videos are all my own vehicles. Anyway, that's it for this video. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching these videos. I want to thank you all for subscribing like you have been doing. And till the next video, this is Cars, Trucks, and Detours. If you can't find me, look under Steve AZ 711. That's me too. Alrighty then. Bye for now.